Yo, what's good, guys? It's Shane here, and I'm back with another video. Today, I'll be ranking the top 10 small forwards in the league. If someone was left off of this list, it's either because they're not a small forward or wasn't good enough to make it. With that being said, let's get straight into it. At number 10, I have OG Anunoby. OG is an amazing defender, being able to guard the 1 through 4 very effectively, and he's one of the best wing defenders in the league. He's also a pretty good offensive player as well, being able to shoot the 3 ball at a decent clip and attack the paint when needed. He'll be a great piece for the Knicks this season, being a big part of why their defense will be so good, and he's one of the best role players in the league. At 9, I have Mikal Bridges. Once again, he's a great defender and can guard the 1 through 3 and sometimes the 4 effectively as well. Just like OG, he's one of the best role players and wing defenders in the league, and seeing that they're on the same team is scary. The Knicks defense is going to be crazy this year. Last season, with an increased offensive load, Bridges put up almost 20 points per game while also being a lockdown defender and being a good shooter. I don't think that he'll be that type of player this season, seeing that he'll go back to being a role player. And there's a variety of offensive players that the Knicks have who can put up similar production to him, but he's still capable of those feats. At 8, I have Scottie Barnes. Scottie made his first All-Star team last year and had a great season overall. He's a pretty good defender, and he's as impressive on offense, if not better than he is on defense. He's kind of a point forward, putting up 6 assists per game last season, being able to set up his teammates effectively despite his size and position, while also being a good scorer. He's not that great of a three-point shooter just yet, but he's only 23 years old and has plenty of time to become a much better three-point threat. Side note, I know some people consider Scottie Barnes as a power forward, and I'm completely okay with that. So if you want to criticize me for putting him on this list as a small forward, so be it. At 7, I have J-Dub. To me, he's very promising and is definitely a future All-Star, and I'll go as far as saying that he'll be an All-Star this year, having kind of a breakout season. He was a huge piece for the Thunder last year, being their second best player behind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and carried a big offensive load. He put up 19 points per game while also being a decent passer and a great defender. Seeing that he's only 22 years old and he'll likely be able to play the small forward full-time next season, the sky's the limit for him. At 6, I have Jimmy Butler. Some people may be surprised at why I have him outside of the top 5, but my reasoning makes a lot of sense. Jimmy has been coasting through the regular season for these past couple years and thinks he could just go off in the playoffs and everything will be fine, which just isn't true. With this style of play, the Heat are consistently in the play-in, fighting for a playoff spot late in the season, and as a result of this, they have to play one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference in the first round. This worked in 2023 when he came into the playoffs healthy and went on to beat the first seed in the first round and eventually make the NBA Finals. But this won't happen every year. He wasn't even an All-Star last season, and if he wants to secure a playoff spot, he must get back to that level. Now, that might be difficult considering his age, but it's definitely possible, and if he wants the Heat to be contenders, he must do this. Last season in the playoffs, his lack of effort in the regular season came to haunt him later, as the Heat were matched up with the best team in the league in the first round, being the Boston Celtics, and he wasn't even healthy for that series, so the Heat got gentlemen swept. So what I'm trying to say here is that Jimmy needs to do better in the regular season and stay healthy for the playoffs if he wants to rise in these rankings. At 5, I have Paul George. PG, even at his age, is still one of the best two-way players in the league. He can legitimately guard the 1 through 3 and even some 4s at times, and we know what we're getting from him on the offensive side. He's an amazing three-point and mid-range shooter, being one of the best at his size in the history of basketball, and he can attack the rim at will. Additionally, he's a decent passer and he's a great shot creator. With this new role as the third option on the Sixers, he'll be very effective and probably the most effective piece for a championship team that he's ever been in his career. This is the spot he needs to be in, and with this reduced offensive role, he'll be able to buy into the defensive side of the ball more and once again prove to be a legit two-way player. At 4, I have Kawhi Leonard. Despite being injured every season and postseason, Kawhi is still one of the best players in the league. He's one of the best defenders in basketball, even though he's regressed a bit from his prime days. He's an offensive machine as well, a decent rebounder and a capable passer. The obvious problem with Kawhi, though, is his health. He's never healthy in the regular season despite having one of the healthiest seasons in a while last year. He's never been healthy in the postseason. We haven't seen a healthy Kawhi postseason run since 2019 when he led the Raptors to their first championship in franchise history, and that's very concerning. He'll have much more of an offensive load next season considering the loss of Paul George, but honestly, I don't even know if he'll play a lot of games, which will put a heavy burden on Harden to lead this team. Regardless, When he's healthy, Kawhi continues to prove to be one of the best small forwards and players in basketball. At 3, I have Kevin Durant. Despite his age, KD continues to put up crazy numbers, averaging 27 last season at the age of 36. He's still a pretty good defender, a decent rebounder and passer, good slasher, and great shooter. He seems to settle for mid-range shots a lot more, which is probably because of his lack of athleticism at this point in his career, but he's very good at it. Regardless of this, he's still an amazing scorer, but his shot diet does get concerning at times because he lacks the burst that he used to have, and therefore he barely gets to the rim anymore. At 2, I have Jason Tatum. Tatum has proved to be a point forward, improving as a passer drastically since he first came in the league. He showcased this all throughout the playoffs, giving his teammates countless good looks while also being able to get a lot of points of his own. He's a great defender, proving to be one of the best two-way players in the NBA. He's also a great finisher and three-point shooter, but just like KD, his shot diet is questionable. He settles for step back and side step threes most of the time, despite him being 6'9" and strong, which will make it very easy for him to just attack the rim most of the time and get easy buckets. Tatum is one of the most complete players in the league, not having any weaknesses really, and that's enough for him to earn the title of the second best small forward in the league. At number 1, we have the GOAT, my glorious king, LeBron Raymond James. Some may argue that Tatum is better, but at this point, it's objective that he isn't. LeBron is a better finisher, much better passer, better three-point shooter last season, more efficient, and even with advanced stats, he clears Tatum in most of them. The only thing he has on LeBron is defense and rebounding by a slight margin. Other than that, LeBron is better in basically everything. Even at damn near 40, he's still leading his team, which isn't very effective and is why the Lakers are a low playoff seed every year, or just missed him completely, but he's still doing a great job at it. He just had one of his healthiest seasons in a while. He's still a great playoff performer, and I think if you put the right pieces around him, he can lead the team to a championship. Even at this age, he can still play every position, and he's a top 10 player in the league. Under JJ Redick next season, the Lakers will look much better, including LeBron, and the conversations around him and the Lakers as a whole will change and become much more positive than they have been for the past couple of years. In addition to that, his defense has been understated by most fans. He's still a good defender and can stay in front of players. Obviously, he isn't the defender he used to be and can't guard the best player on an opposing team, but he's still definitely capable of making great defensive plays. LeBron as a whole has been understated, which is kind of understandable considering his age, but he's still one of the best all-around players in basketball and can lead a team, if put in the right situation, to the finals. And those are my top 10 small forwards in the league. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, whether you agree with it or not, if some of my picks might have been dumb, smart, or if I left anyone off. I'm all ears. With that being said, I'll see you guys later.